Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Griffin.
Here.
Bishop. Conwell. Gray. Hairston. Harsh. House Jones. Jones. Casey. Kelly. Moorer. McCormack. Polensik. Santana. Slife. Spencer. Starr. You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you. Will everyone please rise for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll make the following statement. This meeting of Cleveland City Council is a lawful meeting under Section 605.04 of the Codified Ordinances. No person with purpose to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting shall do any act which obstructs or interferes with the due conduct of such meeting. Members of the public are invited to speak only under the rules set by this council. Disruptions, including but not limited to speaking out of turn and making loud noises and loud utterances, are in violation of the rules and interfere with the due conduct of this lawful meeting. Such disruptions may constitute a misdemeanor and a violation of Section 605.04. Anyone who disrupts this lawful meeting in violation of the codified ordinances commits misdemeanors and is subject to prosecution. The following is the first and only warning. If this meeting is disrupted, I will gavel a halt to the proceedings and direct the assembled officers to escort any person participating in the disruption out of the chamber. Once persons participating in the disruption are outside of the chambers, the officers will close the doors and the disruptors will be handled as directed by the Director of Public Safety. The council proceedings will not begin again until those that participated in the disruption have left the chamber and the chamber doors are closed. Disruptors will not be allowed back in the chamber after the meeting resumes. Again, this is the first and only warning. Madam Clerk, please dispense with the journal.
By Councilmember Moore, that the reading of the minutes of the last meeting be dispensed with, the journal approved. Seconded by Councilmember Santana.
We'll move to public comment. I want to make sure that everyone recognizes as well as the council members. Please, at all times, try to use decorum. I've been instructed about everyone's rights and everyone's ability to have free speech and also legislative immunity. However, at the end of the day, we do want to show the best example of professionalism to our public. I'm going to ask for everyone to turn around and acknowledge the speakers, and I'm going to ask the speakers to please acknowledge your time. Once again, once you see the yellow, that means to wrap it up, and once you see the red, that means to abruptly stop, and we'll move to the next speaker. First and foremost, we have Mr. Daryl Houston from Bedford Heights to talk about city issues. He's not representing anyone, and he's not being paid by anyone. Mr. Houston, you have the floor.
Should not be called a dummy. A taxpayer citizen should not be called anything other than his name in these public settings. And at this moment, I want to let the council know there is 12 new council members here. All of the 12 new council members, I want to thank you guys because you guys have been doing a great job in the community, and I personally know that, okay? Because I see you guys in a lot of places and spaces. Now, with that being stated, Mr. Griffin, I no longer think that you deserve to sit on that podium, okay? It is apparent that you are not a leader. You have allowed things to take place for 36 months now without addressing any issues. You have allowed Mr. Polensik, who's sitting right there right now in public, to write and not pay attention to public comment. That's unprofessional, okay? I've wrote you several emails and several things asking you to consider looking at some of these things. Right now, I believe it's 9 votes in this box. I believe a woman should sit up there or a new member. It's 9 votes sitting in this box right now. It's 5 people remaining from the last administration that's holding this community back from thriving, okay? I've asked you about your buddy over here, Kasich. Well, Kasich's finna be in the same boat as Mr. Polensik. Okay? I've been reading public records, and y'all public records is not adding up to what it's supposed to add up to. The only 2 people that's safe, or 3 people that's safe in this whole panel, that's the mayor, that's Mark Griffin, and that's the safety director. All the rest of y'all, I advise y'all start following the policies and the rules, because I'm not going nowhere, and I'll be down here every single Monday to speak politely and point out things that y'all are not doing in this community. This community deserves better leadership, period, point blank. Cleveland Foundation, I'm finna come for y'all. $10 million and giving these groups out here $200,000 and $300,000, you can't sustain a program like that. And Mr. Polizek knows it, and Mr. Kasich knows it. And you can stay turned around, Mr. Kasich, because guess what? I found something great in your paperwork, and you will have to deal with that too. Okay? Fraud is a felony. Theft in office, misusing of taxpayers' dollars, you go to jail for it. And I'm here to tell the other 12, y'all don't have to put up with this. Y'all want to do right. They don't want y'all to do right. They done sat here and blocked that young man from doing everything positive in this community. Okay? Y'all watching it. Y'all see it. I've never came down here and disrespected anyone in this room, but I've been disrespected by a few of you guys. Mr. Polizek put his hand in my face 6 months ago. A police officer saw it, and I politely told the gentleman, hey, we can talk. I talk to men.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Brenda Bickerstaff. Brenda Bickerstaff is from Ward 9. Brenda Bickerstaff is here to talk about the consent decree, clarification of comments, and representing citizens for Safer Cleveland and not being paid by anyone. Ms. Bickerstaff, you have the floor.
Blaine, I gotta agree with him. You need to step down, because what you could have done last week, you could have said, Mr. Polizek, before you speak, remember we've been sued, and you just sit there, you being a black man. Mr. Houston has a lot to say. Jenny Spencer, Kevin Conwell, a lot to say. He did 16 years for a crime he didn't commit. That was my first client when I first started being a private investigator. He has a right to have a say. But Mr. Polizek didn't tell you that. Mr. Polizek also didn't tell you that he has a business in Ward 1. So he just let it happen. Let it happen. But I wish he would have tried to cuss me out. I would have gave him something. Big time. Big time. I'm just waiting for him. I'm going to tell you that he lied to you too. Polizek lied. I spoke to him earlier that day about the consent decree. He said that we want him to go after them. No, what we said was, Joe, have a sit down with the law director, the chief, the monitor, and the safety director. Mr. Starr, that's what we said. And I've been saying that. I asked you 2 years ago. 2 years ago, Blaine, what is the problem that they can't come in compliance? What's the problem? Somebody like this don't like what I'm saying, Ms. Spencer? Somebody don't like what I'm saying? 2 years ago. And you didn't do it. But then you get upset because somebody asking you some questions about something that's critical. Mr. Polizek gets up there and says, what do he thank everybody for coming down for something important? The consent decree is important. Why is it not important? I don't understand why it would not be important. Black people has been dying behind it. You don't think that's important? That's very important. And then you sitting up there, Blaine, like you're the big dog. You need to step down. I'm disappointed in you. I got that text that you sent me about my brother. You spit on this grave. Going to tell us to go out there and protest against Bernie Marino. My brother didn't get killed in Westlake. He got killed by Raymond Chipkins in Cleveland. In Cleveland, Joe, but he gonna tell us to go to Westlake. I bet y'all ain't gonna go out there and mess with them in Westlake. Where your backbone at, black man?
Thank you. Next, we have Diab Darisa from Ward 11 to talk about zoning code, highest and best use to the community, representing the Coalition for a Better Cleveland and not being paid by anyone. You have the floor.
My name is Diab Darisa. First off, good evening, council members, Mayor Bibb, fellow advocates, and attendees. I'm Diab, Ward 11 resident, which is still the case after the map redistricting. And I stand before you tonight to again stress the importance of making sure we do not overturn the PRO, the Pedestrian Retail Overlay Zoning Ordinance. currently enacted for the former CVS site. Sitting vacant since August of 22, we have some viable options, preferably the number 23 fire station to this parcel, which would definitely be a great benefit to the community. Now, it was incorrectly stated prior the site was vacant for 13 years. That's definitely not the case. I live in the neighborhood and I frequently pass by this CVS on my many walks. Public records can back up what I recall, that the store was shuttered in late summer of 22. This was even before Kelly's tenure as councilman, which began January of 23. Now, on topic of remembering things quite vividly, I like to talk about the benefit of being forgotten. And let me elaborate. 10 years from now, if we do the right thing, people might actually forget about the stress this fighting has caused. Because the right thing was done and people were invited to move on with their lives. But you know what we will not forget if the site were to become a gas station. It's very clear that we do not want this in the neighborhood and the constituents are not being listened to. For a mayor, one who I happily voted for back in 2021, who has built his entire platform on being a climate mayor, I'm quite shocked that there wasn't a veto and that it doesn't really seem to be anything that's being done in combating the desire to put a gas station on this parcel. I get it. It's an election year. The city is trying to win back the Browns, so on and so forth. Money, money, money. But this issue does not just pertain to those in Cudell and the West Boulevard neighborhoods. This impacts all Clevelanders. What kind of message are we sending Clevelanders when million-dollar deals seem to take precedence over something that some of you see as small neighborhood matters or just a bunch of hippies? This is one thing I can guarantee right now. You're going to see this same fight time and time again. Big box stores are having an identity crisis. Consumer traffic has been shifting online for years, and communities are going to have to grapple with what to do with all these shuttered brick-and-mortar big box stores and pharmacies. And coming out of the woodwork are going to be business owners who think that everything needs to be a gas station or a smoke shop. In a world that seems to be moving so fast, I implore us to all look to the past. Let's honor our historic neighborhoods and utilize these parcels as something that will be the highest and best use for the community. And in closing, regarding a statement that was made at the April 8th meeting, zoning is not outdated. It's not something that can be molded like Play-Doh to fit your narrative or what you want. Just because zoning doesn't allow for something that you want to see, like a gas station, doesn't mean it's outdated. It actually means zoning is working. That's my time. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Terry Wong. Terry Wong is from Tremont. Terry is here to talk about the police drone policy and public safety. She's not representing anyone, not being paid by anyone. Ms. Wong, you have the floor.
Good evening. I'm former Police Commissioner Terry Wong. Tonight, we gather under the shadow of loss, the passing of Pope Francis, who once called technology a tool for justice, not control. His 2024 warning haunts us still. Quote, "No machine should ever decide who lives or dies. To outsource human dignity to algorithms is to surrender our souls." Yet here in Cleveland, we're doing exactly that. In February 2024, this administration approved $255,000 in taxpayer funds for police drones, including the Loki MK2, a military-grade machine the size of a dinner plate. It flies silently in darkness, opens doors, hides under tables, and spies without GPS. This purchase bypassed the Community Police Commission, the body legally tasked with overseeing police policy. I uncovered this past week through months of persistent public records requests. The division claims these drones are for crowd management, but drones cannot de-escalate. They cannot listen. They can't mediate. They only watch, record, and intimidate. When OSU's leading crowd management scientist offered free help to design a humane plan, Chief Dorothy Todd refused. Let that sink in. Free expertise rejected while surveillance expands. Last November, days after the community and I fought to ban drones from protests, police launched one over a peaceful march opposing counting funding for Gaza's genocide. These protesters were grieving the tens of thousands of lives lost in Christ's homeland. But genocide isn't just occurring abroad. Here in Cleveland, systemic violence targets Black and working-class communities. Over-policing, under-resourcing, and surveillance-first policies erases lives. But these drones now hover over protests, but soon they'll patrol neighborhoods, any neighborhood. This isn't public safety, it's state-sanctioned dehumanization and control. We're told drones can be used for good. True, but when the policy allows for stealth mode, warrantless surveillance, and zero public input, good is a lie. The same drones that could find a missing child film protests and fly beyond sightlines, overseen by a commission ignoring public voices. Pope Francis would call this technological barbarism. So tonight I demand, freeze the drone program until the commission with public, technical, and ethical experts bans stealth and spy tactics. Release all documents justifying battlefield tools on our streets. Host real forums beyond 3 minutes of public comment to ask, what does safety look like without surveillance? Pope Francis once warned, quote, human beings are by definition mortal. By proposing to overcome every limit through technology in an obsessive desire to control everything, we risk losing control over ourselves. Thank you.
Next, we have John Francis, and John Francis from Ward 11. John Francis is here to talk about use of land at West Boulevard and Madison, and he's not representing anyone, not being paid by anyone. Sir, you have the floor.
Thank you. So my introduction to politics actually happened in the late 1980s. My father ran for councilman. We had a corner store attached to a house, very Arab. And at that time, the councilman of the ward came in to meet with my father, and my father was in the back. So I had called him, and while the councilman was waiting, he had taken a 5-cent piece of candy. And then my father came out, they met, the councilman left, never paid for the candy. And all these years when I see this person out and about, I always think about, like, you took that piece of candy. So, Donna Brady, if you're watching, Dan owes my family 5 cents and 35 years of interest. So, in any case, Monday nights have turned into me watching city council meetings while I'm washing dishes. And I see people get up here and they're like, you know, you did this and you didn't do that. And I figured this would be a good time to maybe give props to council. So, Griffin, Polensik, Moore, Harsh, I'm wowed by your outspokenness and your fire. Bishop, Hairston, Starr, super admirable work with youth, seniors, and veterans. House Jones, Conwell, and Casey, such fantastic energy with the public. Side note, my housemate who's here today, Brian, say hello, worked for 311 for 10 years, and I read on the website that Conwell is the father of Cleveland's 311. So Brian, the 10 years of all those names you've got called by people calling in, you can thank Conwell for that. No, we love 311, and a big shout out to Rick, Val, Kate, Caitlin, and everybody there. Jones, Grace, Slife, McCormick, bravo on your economic successes. Spencer, 10 plus years ago, Westbrook and Zone tainted my outlook on politics, but your authenticity, sincerity, and compassion restored my faith in how our elected officials can connect with the community. Thank you. Santana, in September 2023, my friend's 3-year-old little boy, Luis Angel Diaz, was killed by a stray bullet. Thank you for the kindness and assistance you provided to the family. Gracias por su compasión. Que Dios los bendiga a usted y a su familia. To all of council, your opponents are watching. The good people of Cleveland are watching. And to my councilman, Danny Kelly, I know your heart is filled with love and compassion. I know you strive to be honest and a good person. But I also know that there's devils in disguise among us. I don't see any of those sharmutas in the audience. But hear me loud and clear. Lie down with dogs and hara and get up with fleas. Danny, the community wants a new firehouse. As you and others know, we have an ongoing health concern happening at Station Fire 23. Make this deal happen. Mayor Bibb, I'm asking you to make this deal for a new firehouse happen for the community and in the memory of Sean Calvi. No
Time, thank you. Time, thank you.
No gas station.
Time, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Jimmy Gates from Mount Pleasant. He's here to talk about the Cleveland Browns, the consent decree monitor, and he is not representing anyone and not being paid by anyone. Mr. Gates, you have the floor.
Good evening, Council President, to all of your colleagues. Real quickly, a couple of things I want to talk about. First of all, to the Council President, to the Mayor, and especially Director Griffith, thank you for your work that you're doing to maintain the integrity of this city with the Cleveland Browns. I'm about ready to let go of them after 51 years as a season ticket holder, but please continue the fight. I think the city of Cleveland needs to fight. The expenses that we will lose from this fight will be detrimental to downtown Cleveland and to the city of Cleveland as a whole. As I tell people, if the city of Cleveland, which is the tree trunk of this region, falls, then of course the branches will fall as well. My second comment, Council President, is to one of your colleagues who I really felt offended by. In a press conference about the monitor car racing, they called for his resignation. I thought that we were in a land where you were innocent until proven guilty. Not guilty before you're proven innocent. And I feel that there should be, like there was a public request for his resignation, there should be a public request and apology based on Solomon Oliver, who found out after he did an investigation that this young man did nothing wrong. And as a black man in this city, I was offended. I was offended by it. We should be concerned about all the cuts in the state of Ohio and the budget cuts that's going to impact this city. We should be down there fighting for that versus here dealing with the consent decree that the federal government said it should be in place. Why? Because we've been negligent. Don't fight against the system. Support what needs to be done down there. And please, this body here should not be doing that. You should not be calling for the resignation of a gentleman based on him doing his job. Nobody was there, and obviously if he'd have done something wrong, I am certain there would have been an investigation and maybe he would have been resigned. So in the meantime, you owe him a public apology, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next we have Essie Williams from Ward 2 to talk about the Haslam's lawsuit against Cleveland. Essie is not representing anyone and not being paid by anyone. Ms. Williams, you have the floor. Please use the microphone.
President Griffin, fellow council members, good afternoon. I'm here to voice my complaint against public money going to the Haslams for the stadium that they want to build. They should not get any city money, no county money, nor any money from the state. And I have a question. Is the Haslam Group trying to take us to court to force us to pay for that $1.2 billion for the stadium in addition to their legal fees? Now, the Haslam Group went to Columbus. They bought a team using the Modell law, but now they are trying to change that law in their favor for Cleveland. Since 2020, the Haslams have spent $1,145,000 on candidates and ballot issues in Ohio. $100,000 went to top legislative leaders several months before the $600 million request was made to the state. Short list, House Speaker Matt Huffman received nearly $60,000 in 2024. However, since 2020, Mr. Hoffman has received $110,000 from the group. State Senator Robert McCauley received $59,000 in 2024. Senate Finance Chairperson Jerry Serino received $15,000, and Allison Russo, a Democrat, received a whopping $2,500 from them. I have another question. If the Haslams are successful in getting the stadium built in Brook Park, where will the money come from, and how much is it going to cost to demolish the present stadium? Presently, the poor citizens here are supplementing Sherwin-Williams to the tune of $100 million. We are also committed to building a jail in Garfield, and the cost went up from $750 million to $900 million as of March of 2025. How long will you allow major corporations to bleed the poor citizens dry? Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Austria Everson Austria Everson is from the Buckeye Woodhill neighborhood to talk about John's Law. She's from New Era, Cleveland, powered by the Love Project movement. Being paid, she's not being paid by anyone. Austria, you have the floor.
Hey, good evening, everyone. We have an opportunity here. We have an opportunity to do something that our ancestors were not able to do. We have an opportunity to build a partnership instead of criminalizing the work. We have an opportunity to build a partnership so that we can have the same goals of building safer and healthier communities. Many times I watch public comment and I hear people complain about the safety, the concerns about the safety in the community. New Era Cleveland, we have taken it upon ourselves and other residents of this community to do something about that safety issue. So we have created these engagement walks. Yes, we exercise our Second Amendment right to bear arms. Yes, we exercise our right to open carry. Yes, we exercise our right to stand our ground or citizens arrest or whatever that may need to be so that we can make sure that community feels supported and they feel safe. That work continues to be criminalized to a point that now I have been added to Chairman Fahim's criminal cases. I now am facing extortion, 2 counts of intimidating a witness, and aggravated menacing for a conversation that was recorded and mediated. When will it end? This does not end here, because as this criminal case now has bled into my personal custody case for my 11-year-old autistic son, to the point that he labeled my organization a criminal organization, that I'm the head of a criminal organization. And because of John Hughes is from the Cleveland Browns here, his relationships with the Celebrezze family, he is able to continue to use the juvenile court system as a weapon and is utilized and partnered with our prosecution office that showed up today at our trial. I've come here many times asking for a partnership, begging for you to look into John's Law and different ways for families to address the conflicts that they have. This community and juvenile court enforces parents to become shared parents, even if they do not know how to get along. John's Law will put in things in place so that parents that have conflicts can learn how to be a child-centered focused solution. I'm asking y'all, please, we have to start doing things differently. We cannot continue. We have a beautiful gift of connecting with the community. Use that. We have to start working together because apart, it's tearing our communities apart. And I really, really hope that I've heard from a couple council people, but I hope that I hear from more that we can really start working together and figure out how we can develop these healthy communities together. Thank you.
Next, we have Ashley Shrader. Ashley Shrader is from Ward 3 to talk about the Summer Sprout program. Ashley is not representing anyone and not being paid by anyone. Ashley, you have the floor.
Thank you, Council. And I would like to thank the Community Development Program for renewing the Summer Sprout program. On April 12th, I found out that we now have to meet the 2024 EPA guideline, which the lead soil levels had to drop from 400 to 200 parts per million. It feels like a kick in the face a little bit because it's expensive to get soil. You have to do raised beds. We don't know where our water sources are coming from, if they're lead or not. And getting lead tests are very expensive. To send out my 18 plots would cost me $1,800 for my 18 plots. That's $90 a piece. That's a lot of money. And to the committee that's working on lead safe poisoning, we're willing to help, but we also need realistic goals to fight lead. So work with the communities. We're here to help. I hear you, I see you. I watched during my lunch the lead coalition you guys had today. It was awesome. But we need better goals for that, and attacking a program and saying you have to meet this requirement in 1 year is very unrealistic and is very frustrating for all of us. Thank you all.
Thank you. We have Angela Davis. Angela Davis is from Ward 3 to talk about the negativity that residents have to deal with. She represents the Black Women's Army, and she is not being paid by anyone. Ms. Davis, you have the floor.
Good evening. I'm Angela Davis. I'm here because I'm a little disturbed about Councilman Polensek calling a taxpaying citizen a punk ass, but you have a councilman sitting right here calling women at 3 o'clock in the morning that's not his wife. Why is he not a punk ass? What's the double standard? I don't understand it. And then y'all just let him, he don't have to do committee meetings, he don't have to do anything, but he's still allowed to collect a paycheck. Make that make sense for me. Accountability, anybody? Do y'all know what it means? Y'all supposed to represent the people? Do y'all know what that means? Y'all swore to look out for the citizens of Cleveland. Did y'all forget about the swearing in? Hello? It sure is quiet. But when somebody stand up that pay their taxes so that you can get paid, they get called a punk ass. When y'all figure it out, give me a call, 216-324-8585.
That ends public comment. Madam Clerk, can you please move to communications?
File number 552, 2025, from the Independent Monitoring Team for the Consent Decree, the 16th Semi-Annual Report, June 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024, received. From the Ohio Division of Liquor Control, file number 526, 2025, regarding a transfer of license application at 13133 Shaker Square, Ward 4. File number 553, 2025, regarding a transfer of ownership application at 211 Center Street, Ward 3. File number 554, 2025, regarding a new license application at 3232 Lakeside Avenue, Ward 7.
Thank you. Are there any condolence resolutions?
Resolutions of condolence by Councilmember Griffin for Curtis Lee Houston, Sr.
Councilman McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to hold a number for Pope Francis on behalf of all of the council.
Please,
maybe.
On behalf of all council, if we could add that. Thank you. Councilman Charles Slife. Councilman Charles Slife. Are there any other condolence resolutions? Madam Clerk, could you please pull out a number for John Boyd? John Boyd.
So noted.
Are there any other condolence resolutions? Will council members please rise for a moment of silence? Thank you. Are there any congratulatory resolutions?
Resolutions of congratulations by Councilmember Polensek for Faith United Baptist Church, by Councilman Polensek for Reverend Joseph Basavis, by Councilmember House Jones for the Senior Transportation Connection, by Councilmember McCormack for Frank and Janice Rose Tax on their 50th anniversary. I'm sorry, to Kaz, maybe, on their 50th anniversary, by Councilmember Casey for Local Mango Restaurant on their grand opening. Resolutions of recognition by Councilmember Griffin for Eleanor Elizabeth Hilo, by Councilmember Griffin for the 2025 Inclusive Conference.
Thank you. We'll move to presentations, and I am going to ask if we could, Team 822, the Argonauts of Davis Aerospace Maritime High School, if we can open up the well for them, and if they can join me right here to my right. Thank you. If any council members would like to join me, please feel free. This is for the robotics team at Davis Aeronautics. Okay, the Maritime High School. Thank you. You guys can fill up. Only thing I ask is that you watch this cord right here. Once you fill up, feel here, you can feel here. Thank you. Who's going to be the key spokesperson? Who's the key spokesperson? Principal? Leader? Okay. Tell me your name again.
Timothy Hatfield.
Okay. All right. This is for the aeronautics team that actually won a major championship, and I'll let Timothy talk a little bit more about it. But we acknowledge all of the sports teams and all of the athletic successes that we've had. We also want to make sure that we acknowledge the greatest robotics team to come out of Cleveland that actually won a championship. I know we say this all the time, but you know, we always talk about what's wrong with Cleveland, but ladies and gentlemen, these young people right here are what's right with Cleveland. These young people are, future engineers. These are people that will be working on the future of work. These are the people that will keep our cities running, and we're just so proud of you, all of you. Thank you so much for all of your hard work. Let's give them a round of applause if we can. All right. And I'll just read a couple of stanzas. I'll read the beginning and the end. It says, whereas it is with great pride and admiration that we, the members of Cleveland City Council, extend sincere, heartfelt congratulations to Team 8222, the Argonauts of Davis Aerospace and Maritime High School, for earning second place at the 2025 Buckeye Regional First Robotics Competition and recognizing their exemplary demonstration of innovation, teamwork, and gracious professionalism. I'll go down to the end. It says that, be it further resolved that the city clerk of council, be and she, is hereby requested to transmit a copy of this resolution of congratulations to Council President Blaine A. Griffin for proper presentation. I'm going to allow Timothy to say a couple of remarks, and then we'll give all of the scrolls to all of the students that participated in the conference. Cool. Here we go. Here we go.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Timothy Hatfield. I am the Director of Programming and Thematic Learning at Argonaut, a nonprofit organization that founded and supports Davis Aerospace and Maritime High School. The first robotics competition is a competition that not only builds robots, it's a fun part of the program, but we are a program that builds people. We build innovative kids, we build bright kids, we build city kids to go out there into the world and make their mark, because CMSD kids deserve a hell of a lot, and we are gonna give it to them, and we are doing it one by one with this program.
I'm going to let Timothy give these resolutions and scrolls to all of them, because last time I hacked the names up so bad, I've learned to just let the person that can say them better.
Yeah, that's right.
Please.
Thank you.
You could just give each one, and then I'll hold this for you. Put it in the sleeve, and then we'll take a picture.
Awesome.
So I want to acknowledge everyone in the record.
Do I call them out?
Yep. Call them out.
That is me.
All right.
We have Eileen Roman, lead mentor.
All right.
Ziomara Andujar, team mentor. Eliza Chapman, team member. Jadisel Andujar, team captain. Giovanni Barrett, team captain. Evan Mullen Vaness, team member. Fabian Zayas Perez, team member. He's also not here. Oh, there's two Fabians. Quinn Schumann, he is also a team member. Randy Negron, team member. Jamie Powell-Kavek, team member. Jocelyn Ruiz Ventura, team member. Iris Ruiz Ventura, team member. Rafael Trinidad, team member. Brady Luxo, team member. Bryson Chapman, team member. Curtis McCutcheon, team member. Another Curtis. Damian Keifel, team member. And then last, Eamon Robertson, team member.
I just want to make sure that we recognize you guys. You know, we're all so proud of you. Continue the great work. This is a great field. STEM is a very, very admirable field. Be honest with you, it's the future of Cleveland, the future of our city. So thank you and welcome. I know the mayor's with us too. The mayor, you want to say something? Good. All right, thank you. We're going to take a picture if we could.
Come on, guys, up front.
And remember you guys up front. Please always stand behind. If we could. All right, thank you. Madam Clerk, first reading, emergency ordinances referred for administrative review and committee review.
Ordinance 527, 2025, by Council Members Casey and Griffin by departmental request, to amend Section 1 of Ordinance 1086, 2023, relating to authorizing the general fund to receive and use revenue from tax remittances collected by Cleveland Public Power during the years 2024 and 2025, and transfer 100% of tax remittances collected in both years back to Cleveland Public Power to extend through additional years. Ordinance 528, 2025, by Councilmember Griffin by departmental request, to amend Section 125.01 of the codified ordinances as amended by Ordinance 443, 2019, relating to directors' powers and duties. Ordinance 529, 2025, by Council Members Casey and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Public Utilities to exercise the second option to renew a contract with AMCIV LLC and Kubra Data Transfer Limited to provide professional consultants to host and manage billing systems and related systems and activities. Ordinance 530, 2025, by Council Members Moore, Hairston, and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Economic Development to enter into a donor-advised fund agreement with Cleveland Foundation to establish, manage, and implement a Slavic Village Neighborhood Development Fund to provide grants for programs and initiatives serving Cleveland residents and nonprofit organizations supporting economic and community development projects in Slavic Village neighborhood, including gap financing, pre-development costs, and other neighborhood improvements. Ordinance 531, 2025, by Council Members McCormack and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Port Control to employ one or more professional consultants, computer software developers, or vendors, or one or more firms of consultants, computer software developers, or vendors necessary to provide an airport runway incursion prevention and management system and related services for the period of 1 year with a 1-year option to renew, exercisable by the Director of Port Control. Ordinance 532, 2025, by Council Members Casey and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Public Utilities to employ one or more professional consultants to assist in the management of Program Year 4 of the city's project of replacing various lead and galvanized service lines, authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement and standard contracts of copper service lines, copper connections, and related appurtenances, including but not limited to materials, labor, and installation if necessary for the division of water, and authorizing the Director of Public Utilities and/or the Director of Finance to apply for and accept one or more water supply revolving loan account loans, granting and other funds. Ordinance 533, 2025, by Council Members Casey and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts of petroleum-based fuels for various types of backup generators, including regular and emergency deliveries, purchases, rentals, maintenance, and miscellaneous supporting services for the various divisions of the Department of Public Utilities for a period of 2 years. Ordinance 534, 2025, by Council Members McCormack and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the purchase by one or more contracts for friction measuring equipment, including training, software, and installation for the Division of Airports, Department of Port Control. Ordinance 549, 2025, by Council Members Bishop and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Capital Projects to enter into an amendment to a contract with Osborne Engineering to provide additional services relating to the North Coast Connector Project, aka the Lakefront Pedestrian Bridge Connector to the lakefront and other associated infrastructure. Ordinance 550, 2025, by Council Members Bishop and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Parks and Recreation to enter into one or more contracts with Case Western Reserve University to provide a youth summer sports, nutrition, health, and life skills development program for 2025 under the National Youth Sports Program supported by Case Western Reserve University. Ordinance 551, 2025, by Council Members Hairston and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Innovation and Technology or Director of Economic Development as appropriate to employ one or more professional consultants, computer software developers, or vendors of one or more firms of consultants, computer software developers, or vendors necessary for a customer relationship management software system and other related professional services for a period of 1 year with 2 one-year options to renew, exercisable by the Director of Innovation and Technology or Director of Economic Development as appropriate, and to enter into various contracts to implement this ordinance.
Thank you. First reading, emergency ordinances to be passed.
Ordinance 535, 2025, by Councilmember Griffin, authorizing the Clerk of Council to enter into an agreement with Shoestring Productions for temporary use of the council chamber for filming certain scenes of a movie. Ordinance 536, 2025, by Councilmember Conwell, authorizing the Director of Department of Public Safety to enter into agreement with the Famicos Foundation for the public purpose of providing the East 105th Safety and Security Program through the use of Ward 9 Neighborhood Equity Funds. Ordinance 537, 2025, by Councilmember Spencer, authorizing the Director of Department of Public Health to enter into agreement with the Thrive for Change for the public purpose of providing community overdose prevention and outreach program through the use of Ward 15 casino revenue funds.
Thank you. Read the motion to suspend the rules.
By Councilmember Moore, that the rules be suspended and the legislation just read be placed on final passage. Seconded by Councilmember Santana.
Call the roll.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 16 yeas.
Thank you. Call the roll on adoption.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 16 yeas.
Thank you. I believe we're first reading. First reading emergency resolution is adopted, to be adopted.
Resolution 538, 2025 by Councilmember Griffin, fixing the 2025 summer schedule of meetings of the Council of the City of Cleveland. Resolution 539, 2025 by Councilmembers McCormack, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Griffin, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr, recognizing April 22, 2025 as Earth Day in the City of Cleveland. Resolution 540, 2025 by Councilmember House Jones, objecting to the transfer of location of a D1, D2, D3, D3A, and D6 liquor permit to 3704 Superior Avenue.
Read the motion to suspend the rules.
By Councilmember Moore, that the rules be suspended and the legislation just read be placed on final passage. Seconded by Councilmember Santana.
Call the roll.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 16 yeas.
Call the roll on adoption.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 16 yeas.
Thank you. Second reading emergency ordinances to be passed.
Ordinance 228, 2025, as amended by Councilmembers Polensek, Griffin, McCormack, Bishop, Conwell, Hairston, Casey, Santana, Spencer, and Starr, to amend sections 630.01 and 02 of the codified ordinances relating to criminal activity nuisances declared and action to abate nuisances and the cost of enforcement. Ordinance 330, 2025 by Councilmembers Polensek and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Public Safety to enter into one or more agreements with Case Western Reserve University for professional services necessary to continue implementation of a data collection and analysis process for the Division of Police Department of Public Safety for a period of 1 year with 2 one-year options to renew, exercisable by the Director of Public Safety. Ordinance 378, 2025 by Councilmembers Bishop, Griffin, Starr, McCormack, Conwell, Hairston, Casey, Polensek, Santana, and Spencer, authorizing the Director of Parks and Recreation to enter into a contract with the Northeast Ohio Muni Football League, aka Cleveland Municipal Football Association, DBA Cleveland Muni Football League, to conduct a citywide youth football program.
Read the motion to suspend the rules. Councilwoman Stephanie House Jones.
Please put me on as a sponsor for 378, please. Thank you.
So noted. 378. By Councilwoman Moore, that the rules be suspended and the legislation just read be placed on final passage. Seconded by Councilmember Santana.
Call the roll.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 16 yeas.
Call the roll on passage.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 16 yeas.
All right, thank you. We'll move to introductions, and a couple of people that I want to acknowledge. Start out with introductions. First and foremost, my good friend and precinct committee person from Ward 6, Marilyn Burns. If she could please stand up, Ms. Marilyn Burns. Give her a round of applause if we could. Because of some of the firefighter policies and some of the things that we done made changes with civil services, we have more women serving in the fire department than we ever have. And one of those women that are here today is Yolanda McKay. If Yolanda McKay could please stand up. I also want to take a minute to acknowledge our good friend, and I know he's retired now, but Roger Carney, if we could acknowledge Roger Carney. Good to see Roger. And then last but not least, I don't know if she left already, but one of the parents was one of the people who worked closely with me and Councilman Kelly when we were doing the campaign, along with Mr. Torbert, Aaron Randall, but I think she left already, so give Aaron a round of applause if we could. All right, are there any other introductions? Any other introductions? Seeing no other introductions, are there any announcements? Councilman Polensek, announcements.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, my honorable colleagues, honorable mayor, audience that is still here. Tomorrow night at Glenville High School, 6 o'clock, will be the first of two meetings taking place on the northeast side pertaining to CMSD. And listening, hopefully these are community sessions, listening to what the community has to say about CMSD. I'm reminded with these young people that just were here, and it's so good to see them. The robotics club, robotics class, we used to have that at Collinwood High School, stripped from it. We used to have music at Collinwood High School, stripped from it. We used to have a pool at Collinwood High School, sitting there empty for like 6 or 7 years, if not longer. We're hearing all these rumors about possible school closings, about cutbacks in programs. I'm greatly concerned, Mr. Chairman, because we all know one of the biggest reasons why people have moved out of our city? Public education, the condition of our schools. Our kids, I cannot speak to other sections of the city, but I can tell you on the east side, our schools have been stripped of programming, stripped of programming. We constantly ask for improvement in curriculum programs, so again, tomorrow at Glenville High School at 6 o'clock will be the beginning of that process, hopefully. I guess they're referring to this as a listening tour from the, they want to hear from the community. Then the next day at 6 o'clock will be at Collinwood High School. I'm urging all parents, all concerned individuals who care about our kids to go there and to express your thoughts and your concerns, what you'd like to see in the schools or what you think is not happening, and it should be. This is important for the future of our city. It's tied to our population. I don't have to tell anyone in this body how much population we've lost. And you talk to those people who moved out, what do they tell you? Number one reason is schools. That's why they've left our city. And so as a product of CMSD, my youngest son, a graduate, the last one to graduate from CMSD in 2012, I'm greatly concerned. And so, Mayor, I'm hoping that we have a good turnout, not only at those two meetings, but the other meetings across the entire city. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Seeing no other announcements, we'll move to miscellaneous. Miscellaneous. Councilwoman Stephanie House-Jones.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Council President. First and foremost, I want to say a thank you because a lot of times our directors and public servants do not get a thank you. So to Director Frank Williams and your team in Public Works, specifically Director Williams, of being able to be responsive of a community member who had been trying to get an issue resolved literally for months and months, and his team followed up. Assistant Director Laird and Commissioner Pruitt, who have been open to conversations of thinking about innovative ways that we can work to clean up our streets. It's appreciated and it is recognized, and I, again, just wanted to publicly go on the record to thank you. Similarly, yeah, I really wanted to do that. So similarly, so when it comes to our council rules, and I guess I appreciate colleagues who had conversations with me about me requesting to talk to members of the administration regarding legislation that was before us. So if people don't know how I operate, I am not a person. I really try to work hard to not be a person to do things underhanded or behind anyone's back. And so I'm going to be clear on my position when I requested a question from Chief Drummond as well as Chief Bonnie Tewan, who did correct me to let me me know that the building and housing was not under her cluster. It actually was Chief Epson, so I will apologize for not asking for the right person. But I want to be very clear is that before I even asked at this meeting last week, I actually called a team member from the administration at 2:00 p.m. to let them know the question that I was going to ask, because I was sitting in Health and Human Services and again trying to get the information. No one can answer the question. So while people would like to ask me not to ask questions, we are in a place that many times where we ask questions that, I can't say we, I'm gonna talk about me. As a council member, I ask questions and I am ignored. So what am I to do? Because a lot of times my office gets the calls about what we do not do, why we are not being responsive, and I can't answer them. And so as we are trying to put forth legislation to empower another department to do even more enforcement, I do think it's relevant to ask what happened with the lack of enforcement that didn't happen. And for people to take offense to that, I would appreciate if anybody have a problem with what I am doing to come and talk to me. If you don't think that I'm being a good team member or whatever, we are colleagues. Have a conversation with me. But all this other stuff, for my 16-member council members and the mayor, have a conversation. I feel like I do work to have conversations. I do not try to waste time in committees on redundant questions. I'm a person that reads information, and I'm trying to do my job. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I'm saying that. So for the 16 colleagues here, again, if you have a problem with what I am doing, ask a question. For the mayor, your administration, if people have a problem with what I am doing, please, I am asking you to come to me. The people that elected me from Ward 7, they elected me. Those are my bosses. The rest of the people here are my colleagues, and there is a difference. Thank you.
Next, we have Councilman Mike Polensek.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, my honorable colleagues, and honorable mayor, and I asked for an extended period of time. Mr. Chairman, first of all, I want to say and I want to thank you and my colleagues for honoring Pope Francis, and then I hope everyone had a wonderful and fruitful Passover and Easter. Mr. Mayor, I want to just say this due to some of the previous speakers. I really hope, as chairman of public safety, I'm here to help you. We need a new firehouse over on the West Boulevard and Madison Avenue. There's no doubt about it. I've been over there. I see the issues with the Firehouse 23. I'm here to help you bring that about. So I just want to make that clear. We need a new firehouse over there. I'll let it go at that point. But again, I want to make it clear I'm here to help you, Councilman Kelly, bring that about. Mr. Chairman, I rise because I want to state this for the record. You know, I sat here week after week, month after month, for I don't know, what was it, 28 weeks? I don't even know how long, where we listened, and here we had the racists come in here, the Jew haters, the people who wanted to put the Hamas flag over City Hall, the homophobes, some people coming here talking about their sexual habits, the haters, the nuts. I could go down and go down the list. I sat here, and when I would leave here on Monday night and get in my car, my stomach would be twitching and turning. But last week, I guess I should thank people, because I was emancipated last week. I was set free. And I'm not taking nothing no more from nobody. Nobody. Now, I want to instruct my members, our colleagues in this body. We have, some people don't know this, we have legislative immunity. I want to say that again. Inside this well, we have legislative immunity. So if we want to let loose and express ourselves, we have every right to do so. I was reminded on Saturday and today, a dear old friend called me on Saturday evening at about 9:30, and then today at 5:05, my dear friend George Forbes said, "Michael, what's going on down there? What's going on down there?" He said, "Again, Do you know you have legislative immunity? Nobody in that council has to take any abuse, any threats, any accusations, libelous comments, you name it, we don't have to take it. And you know what, Mr. Chairman? I'm going to thank you for your patience, because I know you've sat up there many a times during that, these people who are hurling complaints at you, the mayor, members of this body, and I sat here and I really apologize. I'm apologizing to myself and the community that I sat here and took it. I ain't taking it no more. That's done. It's over. So if people want to come down here and attack, get ready. Get ready to get it back like a dog in heat, okay? Like a dog in heat. And Mr. Chairman, a lot of this has to do with the consent decree, as I'm finding out. And I want to say this again for the record. I'm not going to attack you, the mayor, the law director, the safety director, the chief of police, or Dr. Anderson, I don't know if she's here, over the consent decree. Because I believe the administration's made progress. I'll say that here, I'll say that out any place. And if I didn't think they made progress, you would know it. Because if I say what I got to say, the city has made progress. Are we where we need to totally be? No. But we are now constitutionally, I got to say, we are doing constitutional policing in the city. I want to say that again. We are doing constitutional policing in the city of Cleveland. And those people and that element who wants to keep the DOJ here forever, I don't get it for the life of me. We are being asked to do things in the city of Cleveland no other city's been asked to do. Okay? No,
Please.
Nobody's asked to do.
And
Okay?
nobody disrupted. Please, you had the
That's
floor,
right.
Councilman
Thank
Pelosi.
you. And so the administration, again, Mr. Chairman, has tried to do, in my opinion, everything they could. We've asked for the federal monitor to come before council again to make a report. I want everyone to know, and I wish Jimmy was still here, Pastor Gates. As of the 16th, I believe it's the 16th, we have spent $46 million approximately on police oversight. Think about that. Think about all the streets we could have fixed, the parks and playgrounds, the goods and services we could have provided. $46 million for oversight. And yet, where's the light at the end of the tunnel? So, Mr. Chairman, I want to say this again. I'm here to work with the mayor, you, members of his team. We want to see the light at the end of the tunnel. We got to get to conclusion. But for some reason, again, they're just people who want to keep this crap going. And I don't understand for the life of me, but again, my colleagues, I'm not taking it no more. I'm not taking it from the wackies. See, here we go. See? Yep, again, we want to take...
If the meeting gets disturbed again, I will be instructing the law enforcement officials to remove anyone with any more outbursts from the chambers.
Because the respect goes both ways. Respect goes both ways. And Mr. Chairman, I got to say this, I'm going to end it here. When an individual got up last week and linked me and compared me to Bashir Jones, I said, wait a minute. A young man called me last week who identified himself from the Muslim community and said, who is that guy? What's this about you and Bashir? And so we had a very short discussion. But I want to say this, because I've never spoken on this subject before. Bashir Jones and I were not close. Our words were separate. Politically, we were not close. But he made a mistake in his life. And he was a man. He was a man, and he acknowledged it. And as a result of acknowledging it, he pled guilty. And he's going to prison. And I hope when he gets out that he can become a productive member of society today. And those people who want to kick him when he's down, then shame on you. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Because other people have been down and out, and he deserves a chance. So, Mr. Chairman, again, those people who want to hurl accusations at us, that want to accuse us, that want to threaten it, be prepared. Be prepared what's coming. I didn't get down here by accident. I worked to get down here. I want to remind people, 17 years, not even junior in high school, my mother asked me to pass out literature for Carl Stokes on 5 streets in Collinwood, which I did. 5 streets for Carl. Lou never ever forgot it. Carl never forgot it when he came back. I ran for council I was 23 years old when I ran for council. 23 years old. I had to get down here the old-fashioned way. I came out of a poor home. I'm the only one to be a public official. My mother raised 4 of us by herself. I worked hard to stay down here, and I represented my constituents, and I never will apologize for the positions that I've taken and what I've had to do down here to represent my folks. And when people ridicule the time I spent down here, I take great issue with it. Because every time I walk through that door and I'm in this chamber, I'm thankful. I'm thankful to the good Lord. I never thought I'd be a public official. I never thought I'd be in this magnificent chamber, serving with wonderful men and women like I am here in council and with the administration. I take this job seriously, and I'm not going to let anyone ridicule me or ridicule the members of this body or you, Mr. President, or members of the administration. We know the characters that are out here want to rip us apart, tear us apart, divide us. They're a minority, a clear minority. They don't represent squat in this city. Let's remember that. And remember, my brothers and sisters, we have legislative immunity. Don't take it. We ain't taking it no more. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Any other miscellaneous? Any other miscellaneous? Seeing no other miscellaneous, Madam Clerk, please excuse the absences.
There are none.
All right. Council is adjourned to the next regular meeting on April 28th, 2025.